a very, very special guest. I'll introduce myself first. So my name is Ibukun Osoba, and um, the Executive Woman is a community of females, and we're just building a support system for corporate girlies, women in leadership, and young people to just find and navigate their way through the corporate ladder or business, whichever one you're doing. So today, our webinar is with someone who is very, very dear to me. I met her interestingly, and she's so simple. She's so simple. So I think our topic today, women in tech, leadership, and just learning to break the barriers and navigate a way to create a better future. I thought Seun was the best person to speak to this topic. Ms. Babajide has worked vastly in different things, and I've read your story in a few places. I've heard you speak about your journey as well, and honestly, I think everyone here is in for a really good time. So I've introduced me. Our guest, of course, is Mrs. Seun Babajide, and she is currently working with ALX and navigating that space very, very, very judiciously. So I'll just let you say hi to everyone, and then we'll go right into the topic for today.
Hi, everyone. It's such an honor to be here. Good evening, everyone. And yes, thank you for the invite. Thank you for the honor as well. Yes, and I look forward to where what the engagement would sound like, would be like, and yes, I also look forward to a very interactive session as well. As much as we can.
Awesome. So I mean, maybe we should start from the basics. So you worked for 10 years. You work with ALX, you're doing all these great things in terms of marketing, in terms of partnerships.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen some of the work that ALX is doing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, as a starstruck person, can you just, walk us through a little bit of your journey? So how did you become this superstar in tech? I want to be like you when I grow up.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thanks very much for that question. I think it was earlier today in one of the sessions that I usually have that I actually discovered that in retrospect, I've been working for 23 years.
Wow.
I know I don't look that old. I'm not actually that old. I mean, this week, I actually decided to let my colleagues know that I'm actually Gen Alpha, and they were a bit confused because they were so sure that last week I was claiming Gen Z. But I'm not claiming it. It's just what it is. Go figure. Yes, I've been working for wow, it's a long time actually, 2 decades and a bit. And I also remember about 8 years. I mean, not 8 years actually. About when I actually joined ALX, the very early years, and they had asked that I should compile together a document for women in tech in Nigeria and all of that and what they're doing and, a little bit of background around them. So this is me opening my PowerPoint, putting all the names together, did everything, oh, this is who they are, this, and I sent it to my manager at the time. And she's like, oh, this is great. Why are you not in it? I'm like, no, why will I be in it? You said you wanted women in tech. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, but I don't work in. Then it dawned on me that I actually work in tech. And I think it's also because I've been doing marketing and communication for at least the last, maybe more than a decade now. So it's sort of, that never occurred to me that I've actually been working in that particular.
Okay.
Yeah. So how did I find myself here? I don't know. I honestly, I know, but from my A levels, I've always known that it's either I end up in business operation, something that has to do with management.
Okay.
So I think unfortunately I don't have one of those I finished with agriculture, I'm now in marketing. It has always been business all the way. A levels, and to date, that's what it's always been. But then I think I was able to navigate it into marketing when I moved back to Nigeria, and that was working at Extreme Ideas at advertising agency. And I'm so great. I was so grateful. I mean, I'm still everly grateful for that experience, because what that allowed me to do was, I don't know if anyone here has worked in advertising agency before, you never get to work on just one particular account as a brand manager. And thankfully, at the time when I was joining Extreme Ideas, it was new. So what that meant was we were jumping on everything. So any new clients here on the account, whether it is Samsung, whether it is DSTV, whether it is BAT, whether it is Etisalat, like you're just jumping on different industry. So that really allowed me to widen up my scope and thinking as well. So I wasn't really, you find some people that, it's only FCMG they do. It's only this particular one they do and they stick to it. Mine has never been like that. So, and then from there, found myself in another advertising agency, and then found myself at Microsoft. So how did I become this? I never woke up like this. I was never I think about 15 years ago, I could not even speak this way. Like everyone. It was a journey. And that was because, of course, even when I get into a room, and that's why I think I'm simple, because when I'm outside, I don't even say anything. Like, you just assume I can't speak, because I'm actually a very shy person. And I don't even want anybody to know that I'm there. So I just go to place and I'm just like this. But when it's time for work and when it's time to do things like this, all of a sudden I'm awake. Like, I'm glowing, I'm happy, the energy is there, right? But there's some days where there's no energy. So it's just something that I've always enjoyed doing, always enjoy. I don't like selling. I've never wanted to be a salesperson, but I always call marketing like science, right? You have to understand the mind of your consumer and be able to tailor and tweak it. So anyway, long and short, that's how I found myself here. Still loving what I do. Regardless of where I am, I would be able to do it.
Okay, great. So you are a woman in tech, but not that you had to go into the technical aspect of technology, but you function in the tech space.
Yeah, I think it's called we were trying to define it the other day. I think it's called non-tech or non-deep tech or but yeah, you work in tech, but you're not in the hard tech space. So you're So it's called Mac Tech. I think there's a new word for it. But
Mac Tech, awesome. So it means that I can do legal tech as well. So
yes.
I'm asking that for someone on the call who is thinking, okay, so I'm now studying, let me go to something that is very far away from tech. Maybe agriculture is even close to tech. Let's say geography.
Everything has tech.
Everybody has
tech now. There is I don't know, I think maybe let me not make my own word, but there is tech in everything. And then you don't necessarily have to even, and that's what you were saying, you don't necessarily have to learn how to code. It is not a coding thing. You don't have to learn how to write codes together. That's not what it is. You can also just almost, if there's anybody here that doesn't use tech, I'll be shocked. I mean, we're all on Google. I hope you all know that's tech. So it applies to every role. And so that's been what it is. I think
okay. So I would say, what do you think, or how do you think a young person starting out can navigate like entry level? So I would say maybe speak to your experience as to now I'm out of uni, or even I'm about to get into uni. What do I even study? How did you decide that? And then post uni, how did you navigate and then get here? Because I know that sometimes we kind of do detours, and I feel like many of us get stuck in that. If I'm not starting here now, I'm never going to get there. So just a little bit on your journey on how you kind of started and just grew into, and then how you got into this opportunity. I think it will help someone.
Okay. All right. Happy to share always. So my first job was a coffee barista.
Okay.
I was learning how to make coffee. I think I was talking about it earlier this morning on one of my sessions as well. I was learning how to make coffee, and that was in Shoreditch area of Liverpool, East London. And that is actually the heart of where a lot of investment bankers work, all the tall buildings and all of that, right? That was my first job. Like I mentioned, one of the things that I was very clear on, even though I think at some point my mom thought I would be a newscaster. One of the things I was very clear on is, regardless of the industry that I work in, it has to be business related, because I knew that I loved different things. Now, bringing that part into today's world, yes, there is that, there is that chance where, you know what you want to do, and then you're being told you have to do something else, because again, so I really don't think it's fair that I'll give my own example, because I paid my school fees myself, so almost like nobody had the power to tell me what to do, because I'm doing it myself, right? So, but what I would say, if I was to bring it into today's world and today's days, is this, right? Because you're not the one paying your school fees, you kind of don't have a choice, right? But thankfully, what tech has also been able to do is, you can do other stuff while you are in school.
True.
You can do tech programs. You can watch YouTube. You can get a journal and write out the things that you want to do. Do you enjoy data? Do you want to learn spreadsheets? Do you want to learn animation? Do you want to learn coding? What do you want to learn? Do you want to work in customer services? Do you want to work as a PA? What do you want to do? Then find out what tech tools and what tech programs are in line with that particular thing. So while you might be doing agriculture, while you might be doing finance, while you might be doing, I don't know, business admin, if that is not what you want to do, not a problem, but continue that. But just make sure that 8 to 5 or 9 to 5, you're in class, doing your programs, doing your courses. Please sacrifice. I think that one of the things that that I see, and as a senior manager, and then of course I'll continue talking about my journey in a minute, is that we always want to sacrifice time to relax. That time is coming. That time is coming. You need to be able to understand your season as a woman, right? You need to understand the season where you have to give it your all, because you know that once you get married, once you're married, once you have children, once it's become 1 child, 2 child, 3 children, everything changes. So you need to be able to be smart and understand your season. If your season is where you're single and you have time, occupy yourself, become a sponge, soak in all those knowledge, give all your time at work, learn from other people, not giving mediocrity and just be like, I can just do. I see that a lot, and I'm just like, I'm just going to do what I beg, and then you would rather relax and sacrifice more time to sleep. Because my skin needs to glow. Look at it, not glowing. Please, by the time it's in 10 years' time, there's gonna be a lot of things that will make your skin glow. So, girl, getting those hours in, learn, consume yourself, be that knowledge bank. So, whenever you're in uni, you just left uni, and you're not sure. Oh my God, technology has made this so easy. Think of the role that you're aspiring for. Then create a plan, and then start doing it bit by bit. You're not going to do it all at once. It's not a 1 year, not 6 years thing. It's a gradual thing. Now, for those that joined earlier, you recall that I had said that this was not how I used to speak. Now, let me give you a bit of my journey. So when I moved back, IJB, my accent was still, very fresh, very bonzing and everything. And then, so imagine my manager my manager had never traveled before, looking at me and telling me, oh, you need to go and buy brighter grammar.
Wow.
Was I offended? Did I resign? No, I did not. I went to buy that brighter grammar. I remember 150 naira, because why? It pained me. Like, it pained me when he told me, like,
yes, receiving feedback.
I have more than you. I don't understand. Like, what's going on, right? But guess what? I took that feedback and I went to buy. And I was just like, okay, what would I have said, or what could I have done that would make, at the end of the day, I don't take his years of experience, right? I don't take it for granted. There's something I must have seen. So I've said, you know what, I beg, please move, go and buy. So sometimes we take feedback and we take it to chest. Take it very we no longer have thick skin, and for some reason, the fallacy and the story nowadays, nobody really tells you about the thick skin and the thick things that they've gone through. You have to create thick skin. So yes, someone says you can't speak English. Okay, no problem. Thank you very much. What do you suggest? Oh, I should go and do this. Not a problem. Then guess what I did? And then okay, yeah. Sorry, I jumped. Then I realized that at the agency as well, whenever it was time to pitch or whenever it was time to go to like they'll ask me to work on a brief, but then when it was time to present to the clients, they'll give it to somebody else. I didn't kick a fuss.
Wow.
I didn't get angry. I didn't pray against anybody. I just went and I asked another colleague of mine, like, what do you think? Like, am I doing, like, of course, in a ranting, whatever, without pulling anybody down? Like, what do you think? Is it like, he doesn't like me? And then it was just like, you too, when you're presenting, you don't talk clearly. Nobody can hear you. Yeah. Guess what I did? I went to join Toastmasters. How much was my salary then? 150K. I joined Toastmasters. Wow. And I was going from Orile to VI.
Wow.
The hotel to go and sit down. That was one of the reasons why I can speak clearly. I couldn't before. I like when I'm talking, you almost think I'm choking. I wasn't angry, and guess what I did? And even at that, when I was doing, so I didn't come back again to the agency and be like, you know what? I'm going to show you people. I don't have that time. I'm not doing it to spite anyone. You give me your feedback. I go and work on myself. You know why? Because where I'm going to. So if people are giving me feedback and they're telling me what to do, like, oh, work on this, work on that, I'm receiving it. Yes, not to say, someone like, I think I was just saying this morning as well, you have to become a sieve, a sieve, right? Where when someone is saying so much things, you too be honest with yourself. Like, you're not the best thing after sliced bread. I'm not the best. Like, and I always tell my team, and they're always taken aback whenever I say that. I'm like, I don't understand. Do you think I can get fired? Why? Because I'm getting numbers and my appraiser is like, oh, 5 stars, 10 stars. You think they fire me? They will fire, please, they will fire me. But once they already think, oh no, they cannot fire me, right. Okay. You have to be open to feedback. So I was always open to feedback. And I also remember, again, I'll share another thing again that helped me. I also recall there was a time as well. And then when I now started speaking clearly, then I used to speak very fast because it was almost like I was never like, it was one of my colleagues in Dubai that was like, when are we going to learn to slow down in this race that we are running? I said, hey, they've insulted me again. Okay, no problem. You know what I did? Wow. I created Excel sheets. Okay. I shared with all of my colleagues and I put in specific questions. Maybe because that's what I like doing, because I'm my own critic. I don't lie to myself. Like, there's nothing you want to tell me now.
And you haven't already.
I don't know. Except I might just not want. I just want to do a giddy. I know. I know I'm crash. Whenever I'm under pressure, I can be very snappy. So even when I'm under pressure, I would just tell my team, like, give me 10 minutes because if I talk, you might not like it, right? So I know. Okay. So what I then did, which is again a while back as well, I created a form and I would share. I'll share with my colleagues, I'll share with my agency, and then I'll just tell them to give me feedback. Like, how do am I approachable? Because then I used to be told that, when you see me from afar, I used to look like if you just near me last song. And I cannot do that because otherwise nobody would involve me in their gist. Nobody would involve me. So I have to so based on the feedback that I got, I created a form. And I would just send it and I'd be like, don't put your name, it's very animal. And when I get it back, I'll sit down and map out areas I need to work on. So when I was talking about technology is now so great, what I'll go on YouTube, even before LinkedIn Learning came. When did LinkedIn Learning came recently? I'll go on YouTube, type it in, how to present, how to speak clearly, how to do this, how to engage, how to do, and you give all of those. Your bloggers, your influencers, I beg, give them a break. They are where they need to be. You need to have a journey on where you need to go. So you need to do that. So I would now be watching the 10 minutes one, not the 1 hour one, because you get tired. Let's not lie, right? So the 10 minutes give the gospel music a break. Yes, I am a Christian, and trust me, I am a very good Christian at that. Wow. But there's sometimes when you need to learn, you need to give allocate time for it. So while you're also listening to like maybe your music, give your time, allocate those time to those areas that I've told you over and over again. Nobody is after you, they're just after you getting better. So I think
so I think something that really, a few things you said, not one is know your season. So if you're
Yes.
really
Yes.
young, know your season and occupy yourself.
Yes.
I definitely think that advice I will give to my uni self. You could have made a first class. Like, see, you have no excuse for not having come
Oh,
out to the
God,
first
no.
class. You had the time, you had the resources. That's
Yes.
definitely something. Definitely occupy yourself. Leave the parties, leave the friends. I mean, do it in moderation. However, just occupy yourself in a way where you're thinking, look, the me that comes out of the first class or a 2-1 just has more doors open, has more knowledge, has probably learned more skills that would help you in the workplace. I really, really
Yes.
love that. Be the knowledge bank.
Yes.
Once you go to person in your office, you're fireable, but are you really fireable too? Are you really fireable at that point? Create a plan. I like this. These things are really touching my chest. Create a plan,
You have
even if
to.
it's a plan that is. I can't even see how I'm going to work in the UN. Okay, like, can I ask you this? Could you really have seen yourself in ALX from uni?
No. I couldn't. I didn't. Let me not even lie. I couldn't. I didn't. I never saw myself in ALX. I never. No, that's the honest truth. I never even saw myself as someone who would be. Guys, my marketing budget is not being like the budget that I sit down with like quarterly is not being. I never would have thought. Like, never ever. And it just has to do again with that humbling spirit. So let me share this quickly. One of the things that I've also learned a lot is I know that sometimes, even as women, whether you are much older or you're even much younger as well, you find yourself in the space where you feel like you have to compete. So I see a lot of women joining like my organization, past organizations as well, and they come in with so much energy because they feel like they have to prove themselves. Please, there's nothing you take away from this life. Can I just say, give yourself 3 months. Chill.
Okay.
Because what we usually do is because we're so, I need to let them know that, I'm the best hire. I need to prove my point. There are so many things that you need to study. 1, about the organization. 2, about your boss. 3, about the person that was in that role before you were hired. Yeah?
Yes.
4, I call it the unofficial organization structure. Do you guys know that there is, please, let me know, give me a thumbs up if you know that there is something called the unofficial organization structure. Just tell me, let me know. Please, guys, if you don't give us this
feedback, yes, we need the feedback.
We'll just all go home.
We need the feedback. Unofficial organizational structure. Anybody ever heard about that?
No, you've not heard about it. Okay.
Wow.
Let me tell you what that is. So you see the organization structure, like for instance, let's use my previous employers. Let me use Microsoft for instance, right? So there is Bill Gates, or there is Safia, and then there is the other ones. Those are the official ones.
Yes.
The unofficial one is the people that you work with inside your office. It's not your HR and then your manager, because trust me, your manager might not even be the one that is pushing you for promotion. It could be your MD's driver. Yes. Do you think the driver and your boss do not talk? Please, don't do that mistake. There's something. So you need that 3 months to almost study. You'll be surprised that the canteen lady, the person that brings food for you at the canteen, and your boss's boss are cousins. So why you be like, this meat is too hard? You people should always, they are discussing your matter on Sunday while you are busy eating shawarma and eating Sunday afternoon dinner. True. So you need to take that time to study the unofficial organization structure. It exists. Trust me, I know that now that I'm saying it, some of you now thinking, it is somebody else that you don't even work with, right? That would even that has the ears of the person who's about to promote you or whatever.
Yes.
Yes, that whole decision. So while you are there thinking, as long as my boss knows what I'm doing, even your boss gone. They are looking for the own organization structure. So while you're making your boss's life better, because that is the best way you can also keep your head down. If you don't make your boss's life better, it is only human for your boss to lean towards the person that helps them to score their OKR.
True, true,
So
true.
if you're thinking, oh, I don't work on Saturdays and Sundays, I don't talk to any, you're missing low. Even you should even know when your boss's birthday, wife's birthday is, not because you are poking nose, but you are listening. You are discernment. Yeah, you are taking your time. That's why I've said, so the first 3 months, yes, hit your goals, though, hit your OKRs, understand what your roles and responsibility is, but also take your time. Go to the canteen. I don't understand when people say they work in some place. I don't go to the canteen, I don't eat their food. You think the next role that is opened and you apply, they know you because you're sitting down in your cubicle? You think people know you? Somebody is leaving the organization. They said, oh, the team are going. They're like, no, I don't hang that after work. That's what they're discussing promotion. No? The real ones are spoken at Owambe parties, are spoken on how you
very
carry
true. Very true.
See how Ibukun is related.
Very
like that.
true.
True.
Yes.
It is true. So I don't want, and it's always very painful when I see a lot of young people saying, oh, I'm stuck. Nobody's helping me. It's because of some other things that you are not doing as well. I'm not saying you should go to your boss's house and wash plates. Please listen and apply sense, right? What I'm saying is you need to, I call it farabale, chill for a bit. You would make your numbers, you would defend yourself, you would make your name known, you would do all of that. But for the first 3 months, understand the dynamics. That is not in your employee handbook, but the shop floor, and you can see, right? So that is also very important as well. So this is one of the things that helped me. Sorry, and I wanted to add. So the other day, Tosin Ola saying they put up something on Twitter and was saying that, oh, for those that are earning XYZ amount, can they share how they made it? And I commented there to say, me, I was 70. Let me tell you what I meant by that. And some people entered my DM and said, oh, what do you mean by you were 70? Let me just explain to you. So there's a place that I used to work, and they used to have this thing called FTE and then contract staff, right? But whenever they're having key decision meetings, key decision conversations, they go into a boardroom, just the FTs, it's very senior guys, and they lock everyone out. Okay, you people think you lock somebody out. That's when I will now go and just go, I'm just checking in if you need water or anything, because you guys have been there for a bit. And I go, Seun, thank you. Please let me get water. As me too, I'm bringing water inside now. I'm using one eye to looking at the screen to look at what it's talking about. So while you're thinking, oh, can you imagine? It's so unfair. Oh, FTEs, they asked you to go and do photocopy. You're like, how dare them ask me to do photocopy? My sister, please, can you just be photocopying and just be using eye to be checking if your name is there or name is not?
Yes.
That is when you know when sack is about to happen, when changes are about to happen. But if you don't chill and put yourself down where you are approachable, and yes, they don't see that, you put yourself in a place of respect as well, right? Because I always did. But you put yourself where in 10 years' time, even when you leave that place, you can still speak to them and approach them.
Makes sense. This particular topic, it comes up every time. If you talk about corporate, you cannot talk about, it's called politics. It's referred to as office politics. But again, is it really office politics? I think it's really, what I came to understand is you're dealing with human beings. And as much as you want to say, I'm technically sound, you had me on my CV, rate me on my CV, you are dealing with human beings. Like, you, at the end of the day, even if you go into entrepreneurship, you are dealing with human beings. Your results come because of how you manage people. And that's just everything you've said. Navigating how to manage people. Learn, maybe you should go and, study, find people in your office who you can study and say, this person is so great at this. How are they doing it? I definitely agree with that. I wish somebody told me early, because again, I'm just like, why are you telling me to do this? Why are you telling me not to do that? It's annoying. Like, anybody who's gone through to tell you it's annoying. It's just that the longer you stay and the higher you go, the more you realize that you just have to do what you have to do. If you don't do it here and you keep resigning and switching jobs, you will do it somewhere else. When you enter entrepreneurship, dealing with your clients, you will still do that in any way. You might as well just learn the skill and, like you said, grow a thick skin. Ask for feedback. That's one thing I think a lot of us can do is ask for feedback. Of course, we know that there can be interesting people who give you very not nice feedback, but in general, just try and sift it. I remember one time I got a really harsh feedback. I remember I got home, I started pacing around, I started telling myself, "You're very smart. You know what you're doing." Because it entered my body, but I had to psychologically to go out of it. The next day I stood up smiling. In fact, I went and gave my boss, bought her banana bread, bought her gifts, bought her. She was looking at me like, "What's wrong with this girl?" I was like, "Oh, thank you for the feedback. Do you think? Thank you for your feedback.
Yes.
But it takes you time to get to that place where you're just like,
Get to it.
At the end of the day, if it makes me better, that's it. And I hope everybody on this call gets to that. Look, honestly, it is like, let's start by saying it is annoying, but the world, what we find in the world is we all are adjusting to make way for ourselves. So I would say that the other thing I would ask is, if I'm an introvert, like you said, you didn't really speak outside of having to do your job. You're not really a speaker. So how did you navigate that terrain? So you've mentioned a few of it. You said, oh, you had to do YouTube, you had to join Toastmasters. Are there other resources you can, direct someone like that to, in terms of, look, I have a challenge doing this, and I want to be better at it?
Okay, so there isn't one. They're just there are a lot, and again, it depends on your personality, as well as also how you consume knowledge, because we all consume knowledge in a different way. Some people consume from looking, some people consume from listening, some people consume from, I don't know, from reading, from watching, and all of that, right? But what had worked for me was, one, like I mentioned, the fact that I understood that I was in my I'm still in my growing phase. Though.
Yes. Yes.
I understood that I am in my growing phase. And what I did was, I'm still on number one. I understood my season, which is I was growing. I mean, I'm new in marketing. How did others do it? There wasn't a lot of for someone like me started a career, way back, there wasn't a lot of things available, tools or easy access. I think it was just YouTube and Google then, right? Now you have AI, now you have all of these different things. So what I then went on to do was, one, which is still one, learning, getting feedback, making sure that I understood how to get feedback. Still on 1B, what I then did was I went into LinkedIn, right? And I looked for a number of people that had like the roles that I aspired to. So the roles that I aspired to, I would look for them. So I would look for Chief Marketing Officer, West African Regional Marketing Manager. And I'll sit down with their profile and I'll try to look at how far, like what was their trajectory, like how did they grow? Because what that did for me then was that allowed me to know I'm not too far behind, right? Because sometimes you just give yourself unnecessary pressure. No, but like,
yes,
you've only just 2 years ago. What's the problem? What have you learned? Why? Because you can, people can like your impression. That's not work. Well, it's work because it's digital work, but there is more. So, but when I was able to do that, I was just like, girl, I'm not doing that bad. And then I was not able to be like, okay. So this person did this. This is how this person navigated and all of that. So I was able to learn, and then I still do it. The second thing as well is, as a child of God, so I do apologize if you're not of the Christian faith, because of what I'm about to share, in case it offends. As a child of God as well, I usually ask for the spirit of discernment. Yeah, because like you rightly said, Ibukun, you meet a lot of funny people. And some people would shield the real information from you, maybe just because of something that you might have said funnily, that you just thought, oh, that's how I talk. Oh, and that's not how you talk, really, just because you found yourself in that particular area. So I usually ask for the spirit of discernment. So I pray for my team, I pray for my boss, I pray for myself, I pray for people that I work with. I pray for, I will call their names, even the ones that are Muslims and the one that I don't even know whether they have calabash under their bed. I will still pray for them. You know why? Because again, their own attitude and their own background and their own aura would definitely affect whatever it is that I'm about to deliver on. So I pray for everyone, and I just, ask for that spirit of discernment. The third one as well is, because that is what I already do, spirit of discernment and all of that. What that also helps you to do is, before you know, things are just coming to you. They say one thing, you're saying five, and they're like, how did you do that? You guys, you're like, I don't know, but I just think this is how it works. So the third one is, things come to you. And when things come to you as well, don't almost allow it to disrupt your plan. I don't know why I said that, or whatever that means. Don't allow it to disrupt your plan. What you can always do is when things come to you, check it. If you have data to back it up, check it. If you need to check online, check it as well. Like check, do findings, become a researcher for learning, a researcher for knowledge, a researcher for, if it's to tie gele now, we will research it. If it's to mix makeup, we'll research it. But research an area where you have issues, are problem. We get tired. Why? You know, you have to be a researcher as well, which again, still on that number, I think it's number 4. You have to use all of the tools that you use. It's not one way. We have AI. You can build a skill plan for yourself. What is that goal that you want to get to? I do that every year. I taught my team this year, and I think I then taught the whole of ALX Nigeria community on the vision board. I do that every year because, again, like I said, I'm growing. So unfortunately, I mean, like I never want to become a big fish in a small pond. So even now, I'm doing great things. I'm like, okay, I think it's time to move. Like, I need to go and learn from the best of the best. Like, let's go, right? What I mean is, so cycling back to doing a skill plan, use AI. AI is not only for writing emails and writing copy and writing social media captions. Please, I beg of all of you, if there's anything you do today, think of what your aspired role, what a job title is, put it in AI against where you currently are, and ask AI to tell you what technical and soft skills are required to get to that role. It will tell you. Communication, this, I don't know, like for me, when I did mine, it told me, it was telling me some reporting tools that I need to learn, because I put the year, because the tools that you need in 2025 is not the same thing that you needed in 2024. Then I did the same thing I did in 2020, right? So I put the year, and it will tell you what is being used today, tabula and all of those things, and I wrote it down. And guess what? I'm going to go, I've been planning, every week I do like a 10-15 minutes on YouTube, and I listen. When I'm cooking, because I know I don't like cooking, let me not lie, but I love cooking, but I don't like it as well because it's just time consuming, and the food goes in 2 minutes. That time I could have used it in playing with my kids. I could have used it in learning
bonding
something
with your spouse,
in, like bonding. Do you like bonding and hugging my spouse, right? So what I then do on days where, okay, I've not baked a while for the boys, okay, let's bake. They know. They will even tell you, Mom, you are watching YouTube. Yes. So it's almost like that. So it's on play. So at least my brain is picking it up while I'm also doing other things as well. So that way I'm motivated to do that. So you have to make sure those things. So it's a lot of things that has to be together. For some people, newsletter works for them. Like, you know, they sign up to different newsletters and all of that, and they take their time to read. I don't have that time. So I do a lot of listening. So even at home, during my quiet time, is my AirPod. I have a big AirPod. I have AirPod, like I'm always plugged in. For some people as well is going out, going to conferences, going to workshop, attending sessions like this, right? And learning and all of that. So what I then do, which is now number 5, whenever I go for all of this kind of sessions, I make sure I go for 2 women's conferences every year, at least 2, one spiritual, one professional. But then whenever I see this kind of live sessions as well, I would watch, I would listen, I would, you know, I might not watch it on Instagram, but I'll go to a different platform. Instagram is one thing. It's one thing you went to look for. You'll be there for 1 hour because you now be inside, and then before you know it, you're ordering air that you don't need. Before you know it, you're ordering clothes, and you're just like, please, please,
what did I come here for originally?
I was looking for when I entered this.
Yeah.
So I try so much to get away from Instagram. So if you know you're someone like that, be honest with yourself. Nobody's coming to save you. You can only save yourself, right? So I do that, and then so whenever I go for all of this women conferences, whether at church or personal one, whenever I like a speaker, I look for them immediately on LinkedIn and I follow them. So I think that's another way of networking. A lot of us go for all these conferences. We go, we are charged up. Yes, this is great. We carry our bag, our notepad, then we go home. Then the price of the crate of egg eats us, and everything that we have learned just pew. What you should really do for a continue for you to be able to continue that momentum is follow those guys. Give them I came for a session and this was great. Thank you. They see you building your own portfolio bit by bit as well. You're following the right people because why? You've heard them speak. They have sense. What they have said, you can see the evidence on their LinkedIn profile. Not someone that comes talking. You're looking for their LinkedIn profile does not make sense because there's a gap in 5 years. You're wondering, okay, so the 5 years, where were you? Right? You actually have something that you can follow up on. You need to do that. A lot of us just go for these conferences and don't do anything afterwards. So again, like I said, it's a mix up of different
Many things.
Can I add one more thing? I know I've said
sure, please.
One more thing I also wanted to add as well is don't ever over evaluate yourself. I think we do that a lot, even as women. I know that the world, like, let's not lie. Yes, it is hard, especially when you start having babies. Guys, I work for a multinational. I went to have a baby. I came back. The organization went through a rehug. I didn't have a position, basically. So it happens. It is not, don't take it personal. What you should almost do is create a value for yourself, which is whatever I do that has my name to it, I will do well. Even if they don't like me, even though the feedback was not nice, I owe it to myself to do better than I started. You have to create a value yardstick for yourself.
Awesome. So we're just gonna pause a little bit to say welcome to everyone who wasn't here at the beginning. Of course, you know who our speaker is. She said I shouldn't call her Mrs. Babajide-Duroshola, but that's who you are to us today. And she's been speaking about many things. Please feel free to, unmute and ask a question, make a comment. The one thing you said is LinkedIn. I said it at the last, sometime recently. I didn't like LinkedIn. Most people don't like LinkedIn. Half the time I see people comment about LinkedIn. The challenge is if you're looking for something, again, back to the office politics thing, we admit that it's not the most pleasant thing. But again, you have to do what you have to do. Go on LinkedIn. Your future boss might be there. I personally have met multiple people through LinkedIn. And then it came into I don't know what LinkedIn does, where people just feel like they know you. So I met somebody that I followed her because I thought she was like a senior. Then I met her in person. Her comment to me was, my sister. I said, woo, we just met on LinkedIn. I promise you. So definitely use LinkedIn. It could be IG that works for you as well, but I feel like IG might be more filtered for most people. So definitely, try and find way to find what you're looking for. And I think that's what our speaker has said. But again, please feel free to jump in and speak. I think just to divert a little, we're female, we're women, who want to aspire to your level of leadership. I love that you said one thing. I want to reiterate that you always are trying to grow. So it's not I've never arrived. You're always trying to outbid where you are. I really love that as well. Yes. But let me come into, so I'm female, I'm Nigerian. I know you said I'm not the prize, but I feel like I'm the prize. I just feel like I should just marry and be taken care of. Why are you telling me all these things you're telling me? I don't understand it. My job here is to be the prize. So can you speak to that a little bit? How has the dynamic of relationships or your personal relationship worked for you? How do I navigate it if I'm young? So how did you decide, did I want to stay single? Did I want to get partnered? How did you navigate that terrain? Okay. Also, maybe how's motherhood?
Oh God!
And how does that play in? I'm not sure if those are two different questions. But
no, they're two different questions. They're two different questions actually. But thankfully, I think I saw my other half here. So let me just make sure that he has jumped off before I start saying things that will not allow me to enter the house. Guys, please just give me 1 second. Let me just make sure my budget is now. Yeah, okay. All right, it's gone. All right. So just my week a bit. So I think for me, I was one of those that I didn't think I was going to get married. Let me just first of all put that out there. I was one of those that never thought I was going to get married. Even though my friends they could see that motherly thing. Like once I'm close to you, you see when we go out, you just see me adjusting your clothes. You didn't send me a message, but I was just so clear that I beg, please. I just want to, like you said, just marry someone that will buy me a Bentley and Arabian Prince, like bottomless money. Oh God, wake up and just be bothered about what country can I go to. Oh my God, like that's still the life.
Problems.
I'm still looking for that life. Let me just put it out there.
Yeah.
But reality then hits. That's not the way it works. So of course I, devoted myself to working. However, how did I mean, I think you have to know thyself and to thyself be true. Right? There's one thing, I mean, I didn't get along so much with my dad, but there's something that my dad always says, and that's something that I pick up. We all have different backgrounds. And regardless of how much you want to say, oh, somebody else is breaking out of the background, there will still be a little bit of threats here and there. So you need to be sure of who you are. And then the person that you are now also dating as well, make sure you are clear on their mission and vision. Their mission and vision, you would hear when you watch movies together. You don't see them and say, oh, what's your mission? They don't even know. But you would hear when you watch movies together. It will be from comments. Oh, why did that person do that? Can you imagine? So you need to listen. You would hear from how they treat their friends, the feedback they say. You would hear from their dreams as well. And you'd also see from their energy. That was one of the things that attracted me to my husband, Babajide. And I think we both love work. We've never sold our kidneys. We've never sold our liver. We have no plans to. We've never carried drugs. We have no plans to. But one thing that we have always done and we are very clear on is the power of excellence. I mean, we never woke up like this. His mom and dad were not also like 100% working class. Neither was my mom was a teacher. My dad was a businessman. So so that's why when you were saying that I could connect, nobody taught me. My mom didn't say, oh, as you're going to your office, when you see, nobody taught me. I learned it. I learned it from being fired a number of times, from being given feedback, from being upset on a number of things, from not being promoted. You learn and then you relearn, right? So getting into relationship, it was great because then I already knew that my husband loved working. I thought I still asked him. I mean, I think I should ask him on Monday, please, when can I retire? Because I like to retire and just live baby girl life. We enjoy working. He's also a workaholic as well. So that worked because I remember when I was dating one guy like that, I knew that was just an F9 dating. When the guy was saying to me, oh, when we get married, on our wedding day, we have to make sure we dance all night. I said, why, what? Is it Thanksgiving? He said, no, we have to make money. I'm like, it's even from the day of the wedding. Just this one chance. I carried my leg and I was just like, no, this is not the kind of life I want to live. So you also have to be clear. And, it's great if you meet someone that you fall in love. Like I know people that they met their husbands at 20, 21, 22. It's great. But you also have to make sure the person that you're getting married to, if you're that young, is someone that has empathy. Because when two become one, you are trying to even now define what the two of you stand as. So if you are entering a relationship and you're entering a marriage and you have not fully had fun, you have not fully defined yourself, you can't even buy shawarma for yourself, you don't even know how to tidy up a room, there's going to be a problem because the person that you're about to join to, he doesn't know as well. And reality is this is a man's world. Please, I'm not a feminist. I don't know how that thing works. I don't even know what that word is, but I can tell you that for a fact. It's a man's world. Sadly, you would have babies, you'll be kicked out of work. Please, you guys tell me in the comment section and let me know I'm speaking to real people and not just AI faces, right? Have you not met men that you work with and you don't even know that they are married and have 3 children at home? Has anybody not experienced that? If I'm getting married tomorrow, they're not saying anything. But my darling sis will be getting married next year. Even HQ is aware. Do we know that? Why do schools call? I mean, my children's school don't call me first. I don't know if they call Ibukun because I know that if my phone is always on do not disturb, so you even get. That's the thing. Why do children's school, call the mother first. I don't understand. Are we not both at work? It's a man's world. There's so many things. And I want what I mean, so it means that we have to make sure we choose the right partners. You have to make sure you choose when they say marry your friend, it gets wild. They're not joking. That thing is real. Because then you can almost have a sync calendar. And now I'm going into motherhood gradually now. You'll be able to have a synced calendar. Not someone that just wake up and say, I'm going to meet the boys. Okay. We didn't have that discussion. I also have work. But you're with someone that you can say on Sunday night, are you home all this week? Are you going out? What's the plan? And the person's like, oh no, you know what? I'm actually not going to be around next month. I'm going, whatever. You are able to plan around each other. Not someone that be like, what do you mean? I can't tell you. You will know from when you are dating. Let's stop all these things and keep saying we don't know. If you think that you don't know, please, can you start praying for the spirit of discernment? And start praying for eyes that sees, ears that hear, whether you're a Muslim or you're a Christian, eyes that sees, ears that hears, and a heart that receive. The last one, the strength to action. Because sometimes we see, we hear, our heart tells us, but that willingness to do, problem.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that happens, because once that is something that happens from your relationship, it is easier. You've already built a muscle for it. It's easier in marriage. It's easier to be like, babe, you know what? I can't pick up the kids this night. Can you stand in for me? Oh, next week. Oh, this month. He's telling you things. Not that when it's like, no, I can't tell you that. No, that's too much information. If somebody's already telling you too much information in marriage, in dating, it's only going to get worse when you get married. It's not going to get better. Forget it. It's not going to change. It's not. I don't understand. Like, no. But once you can tell someone has a teachable, because some men may be like that at the beginning, but guess what? When they get into the marriage, they have that teachable spirit. Sometimes it's shorter, sometimes it's longer. When I got married, again, I don't look it, but I used to have a really, really bad temper, and that's because I had so many issues. I had so many anger issues. I had issues, sharp. I used to give it to the Lord. I was holding it to my chest and assuming that I can work it out. And then I think it was Gates Baba that said it, that he had given his life to Christ, but he had not given his soul to Christ. So I think I had not given out. So I had so much issues. Like my temper was really bad. Like I would fling my Mac laptop and it would crack a skin, and I'll fix it because I'm like, yes, I have the money. Whoa. When things happened and I was, it shook me. I was like, okay, maybe this is not the right approach. Let's take it back. And that is where the teachable spirit comes, right? So, and I'll make you guys laugh quickly. So I remember when we just got married a year, and we didn't have a gate man that day, and we're going to work. It was one of the days when we're living in Bega and we're working on the island. And you always have to be up by 4 a.m. Like, it was ridiculous, right? If I tell you this thing fully, you just laugh at me, but let me tell you. So before I got married, I used to work in Civic Towers, and I used to live in my brother's house at 1004. Okay. So imagine her getting married and moving all the way to Bega.
Wow.
Having to meet her at 6:30. I'm jogging around 1004, feeling cool. Like, oh my God, we live on the island. My husband is like, yo. I live in Bega, man. So I'm like, and we're dating before that. So it was just like, okay. And so I had to move. So in all of that, wake up early, whatever. So one time I was so tired. Like, I was like, what is life can't be this hard. What's going on? No. So Oga said, we're going. I entered the car. I just moved. Oh, somebody had to go. Okay. Oh, so sorry. And then I just moved the chair, reclined it back, and then because it was not like, oh, will you help me with the gate? I'm like, no, I'm not helping you the gate. My father's house, I don't open the gate. My good bros replied me back. In my mother's house, I don't wash plates. And I said, okay. So what's going to now? My point is, you both would break at some point. And it's very important that you make sure you are merging the rest of your life with someone that is teachable. And you are also ready to give some things up as well, because whether you like it or not, your children will model a lot of things after your relationship that they see.
Awesome. Thank you so much for everything you said. I have a whole journal. Filled with your insights. So we're going to go into like everybody actually has to say something now. But before we get into that, a few more things about our speaker. She actually has these really amazing journals. Again, a focus queen helping you focus. It's just there. You definitely can check that out on Instagram. I think we'll give 2 hours to someone here today. Let's see how this conversation goes. So I want everyone to introduce themselves. So again, the goal with the Executive Woman is always to connect. It's always to help. It's always to build. So this isn't we've come to listen and go. I want you to speak to us, meet everybody on the call, find a way to just keep in touch with each other. And I'm sure that if you ever needed something from someone, you can find a resource. Again, be a knowledge bank, find people who are knowledge banks, and let's just do this. So I don't think I want to, highlight people. If we could just unmute one after the other and just introduce yourself, make a comment, ask a question, and let's just go with that. Anyone can start.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
So my name is Ida. I'm from Ethiopia.
Okay. Nice to meet you, Ida.
All right.
So any comments, any questions, anything,
Nice to meet you too. So I'm a junior web developer. I'm currently pursuing my software engineering degree. We appreciate your time for coming here and talk to us. So thank you.
Okay. Thank you, awesome, Ida. Very nice to meet you. Hope to keep connecting. So who's going to go next? Ida has, done that thing where they pour water on the floor before everybody else walks.
Wet the ground.
Wet the ground. Okay, should I go with the list?
Hello, everyone.
Okay, awesome. Hi.
Hi, Seun. Hi, Mrs. Seun.
Hello.
My name is Ezine.
Hi.
It's been wonderful listening to you, and I actually wanted to just say thank you for being open. Thank you for sharing your experiences. Thank you. I can see you're not holding anything back. You're even giving life experiences, how you moved from one phase to another, and thank you. I just wanted to just say thank you. Thank you for your time, and thank you for impacting and sharing with us. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you very much as well.
Awesome. Nice to meet you, Ezine. So who else wants to go next?
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
My name is Judith. I want to say thank you to Seun because I'm always drawing. I've drawn this morning, and I want to appreciate you for always pouring and also being like an inspiration, because I believe that if a lot of women share as much as you share, we would really grow. Thank you so much to you, Ibukun, for creating this space.
Awesome. Very nice to meet you, Judith.
Thanks, Judith. Thank you.
Okay, well, on to a good start. Who's next? Oh, hello, Tejuri. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you, guys. I kind of joined a little late.
Okay.
But I will watch the recording again. But I do agree with what you've said about you being very open. I realize when I meet people that are a bit more open, I do gain more knowledge, and it does stick. So I'll do what you said, the whole LinkedIn thing. I've heard it a couple of times. So I promise to try it out.
Please do. Please do.
Things like this in the future and gain more knowledge. Yeah. Okay.
Awesome.
Well done.
Hi.
Hi, Zainab.
Hello. Hi. My name is Zainab, and I just wanted to say that it's been very lovely being here. A lot of the things that you said, I was able to relate with, especially Mrs. Seun telling her story from, being a barista to, because I've been job hunting in the UK. I've also had like a retail customer service job. This will bring me to my question. And now I'm just looking for like temporary work before I get the kind of positions that I'm hoping to get into. But my struggle now is how to position my experience. Like coming from Nigeria, I have experience like leading operations and leading teams, and I want to get into project management. But you know how Nigerian companies can be, like you can be one person but your role will span across different things. So I don't want to seem like a liar like on LinkedIn now when I say, because I just highlight, you know, whatever aspect of my experience merges is relatable to the role, if that makes sense. But now I'm always worried, like when they go on LinkedIn and maybe I've said I was a team coordinator, yeah, and then on LinkedIn it says operations, like, you know, manager. Like, how can I navigate that before? I know eventually, you know, when I get more experience or when I land a role, it will get better and I can clean it up. But in the meantime, it bothers me, and I wondered if you have any like input on that.
Yes, I do. Okay. Thanks very much for that question. And so first things first is there is no harm in getting to be in between jobs and learning, you know, whatever it is at the moment to pay off the bills, to get yourself together, and to even get yourself to where you need to be at. There's no shame in that, right? But what I also want you to be able to also remind yourself is this too shall pass, and it is just for this phase. Now, how do you position yourself? And then, you know, it doesn't sound like you're lying and all of that. You need to also understand that when you are, because there's a way you do your profile on LinkedIn and you write what experience you have done. So let's say, for instance, your operation roles. Under the operation roles, you can actually list what you have done. So you can make sure, you can actually then make sure that whatever it is that you are listing, there is a generic one for operations, and then there is a tailored one for specific. So if you did something for the engineering department there, write it. If you did some, so it doesn't have to be your headline. It can be, my point is, it can be a bullet point under that role. Things that, so did you, I mean, and then just to add to that, and I'll continue in a minute, just to add to that, make sure that you also have numbers. How many people did you look after in the engineering team? Whatever it is that you did it increase the subscribers? Did it increase the business revenue by how many percent? Not necessarily writing how much, so that even whatever skills that you have that has helped the business to gain 20% subscriber, so 20% subscribers or 10% profits, it will be valuable to adapt anywhere as well, right? So you need to make sure that when you are listing the things that you have done under the operational roles, you have like almost, I mean, you can list like 6 or 7. I think LinkedIn allows you to list a lot. Yeah. So what you then do is you probably do 2 that can be generic, you know, or supported managerial, I don't know, something generic for operations. Then now go industry specific or that organization specific, so that when you even start tweaking your CV, it is clear. And don't be shy to go for interviews and they ask you, what are you doing now? And you say that. What you can even do is you can just say, oh, yeah, I'm not doing anything at the moment. I'm currently looking for roles. But however, I am doing XYZ. So there's any training you're doing on the side or any course you're doing, doesn't have to be paid, right? Udemy does all these programs. Some of them are free. Coursera, HP, PCW, they do all these free things, right? You can be like, oh, I'm equipping myself with XYZ knowledge. But sometimes, so in the meantime, I also work as because they need to also know that you are not just waiting. They need to see that you're doing something. Is it in line with what you want to do? If you can find that, do find that. If it's not in line, then not a problem. The second thing I wanted to add to that as well is, please don't be scared of internships. Internship is not a bad thing. It is you that know you are interning, or whoever, or your organization. You can just put that you're an executive. Go and learn. Because one of the things as well is, because you're coming from Nigeria, before you find favor, you find everything your heart desires, you would find it. But sometimes the reality is not the reality. What sometimes you can happen is, it's very, they usually want someone that is going to plug in and start immediately, not someone that they will take time to start understanding culture and all of that. So when they see that, TV looks good, she looks like what we want, but you know what? This cannot do this or this cannot do that. find places where you can intern. Go and volunteer with the nearest I don't know, Salvation Army. Go and do that, because what that does is that also helps you to get used into the system as well and into that culture. So when they even, I know they like it when you're giving back. So when they see that, oh, you're already in the giving back culture as well, it also helps you to even understand how people speak, know that you already understand the dynamics of a work corporate, because it's different. I tell you that, hey, you think office politics is bad in Nigeria? Yeah, in those zone, you have to be ready, right? So you're also aware of the dynamics as well. So don't be scared to intern. Don't be like, oh no, I want to start earning the pounds immediately because I have fees to pay. Be open-minded to do that as well. Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And
Did that help?
definitely, yes,
Did that help?
a lot. Yes, I feel like I'm on track because I've been looking at like volunteering with charities and the like. I haven't found anything definite. And I also do like business on the side, which will bring me to I just want a quick one. I've been told that as an entrepreneur that I should be careful of like where I meant or how I talk about it, because I can come across as maybe someone that wants to do business instead of like, working in the corporate space. What do you think about that?
Yes, I agree. Especially, yes, I agree. Because so don't say it as a business. You can almost position it as something that you do maybe on a part-time basis or just to get by, or something that you know how to do. Not almost something that you are running. Because then, I mean, I can't imagine me trying to hire someone and the person telling me that, I do this, I have a business. So how will I know that you are going to commit to the job I'm about to pay you for? Do you understand? But then when you come about, oh, I know how to, oh, okay. But you mentioned it now. So I can't say I didn't know that you didn't mention it or that you know how to do it. Do you understand the balance there? But
Yeah.
when you all go full force, like, oh, I also run a business. Yeah, you are going to leave that HR person thinking, are you going to be committed, or is it this one that will be chasing you? And then you say, especially if it's not even a remote work, it's almost like I cannot. All right, see, it's almost like I cannot vouch for the commitments that you're about to give me.
Awesome.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Great. I think there's someone Ibukun left us a chat. I'm not sure she's still here, but she said she can't speak where she is. And I think there's another Blessing Fashion. I'm not sure if you've spoken. If you can, of course, if you can't, it's okay. All right. So again, I'm so grateful for your time. Thank you so much. I know someone joined us. I saw someone popping.
Yeah, just Ibukun and Blessing now.
No, yes. Blessing says she can't speak where she is. Blessing has gone out. I'm not sure. There's someone that I saw coming for a short while, but it's okay. We've had quite a turnout. Thank you so much. I know that balancing work and this additionals isn't.
Right.
I'm really grateful. And to everyone, like we've said, feel free to check out Ms. Babajide on LinkedIn. Feel free to reach out and see if you can help. If you need something, feel free to reach out. Most of us are in a WhatsApp group. I'll definitely leave messages there for whatever you need. So thank you all for, yes, so she's put her name, Seun Babajide-Duroshola.
Yeah.
I want to add who your spouse is, but let's not say that. Let's leave it alone. It's okay. Yeah, so I definitely get a lot of insights. I'm going to be sharing quotes from you because, very, 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 very insightful things.
And I always say, I always tell my team as well, like, if I had like this kind of the manager that I'm trying to be, if I had that kind of manager in my early years of career,
yes,
I would have gone, but there was no one.
Yeah.
People that were in that field were just they're maybe like the second generation, and they were also trying to keep the positions to themselves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's just even now that you find a lot of people like Ibukun, other guys that are now like, okay, guys, this is how it is done. Don't just assume that we woke up this way or
yes. Honestly, I always say this. Maybe I should talk about the executive one a little bit. How this came about was, honestly, I was like, I wish what I knew now, I knew like my year one, and I want that to be available to everybody and anybody.
Yes.
And also building a community of females that supports, because it would seem like the narrative is the opposite with women, because I was thinking about it the other day. It's seeming like, yes, there's diversity and inclusion, but it might sometimes look like tokenization. And if you tokenize people, what you're kind of doing is making people fight for like the one spot, as opposed to making it, if females are competent, they're leaders, you know. And just like we have boys club, and trust me, there's boys club. I've seen these things firsthand. Just like Sean said, 1 minute you're in a party, you just see these guys with their whiskey. They've closed 2 deals on the table we're on. How far, guys? How far? Do you understand? You kind of have to be like a boys for them to bring those deals to you. And so hopefully we kind of create that kind of community and space for women. So of course, feel free to stick with us and just watch out for everything that we're doing. Again, thank you, Sean. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice rest of the evening. Oh, I promised like a journal from Sean. I'm not sure. Look, let me ask a question and see the fastest answer gets a journal delivery from our beautiful speaker. Who remembers? What am I gonna ask? I want to ask something from the very, very beginning. From the very, very beginning. Okay, do you remember how she got into tech? Because she gave us a little story at the beginning about her journey. Who remembers, that story and can tell us? Anybody? Anybody? You get a free journal if you can remember.
Let me show you the journal that you get to.
Free. Yeah, it's an amazing journal.
Okay, please let me try because I really want the journal. I really want the journal. Okay, so I remember you said that from the get-go, you always knew you wanted to be in business. That was what you wanted to do. And you had your manager asked you to compile like a list of people who were in the tech space, and you did that and got the presentation ready, and she was like, why is your name not here? And you were saying, you repeated, you don't have any business with what is going on here. And by the time she asked you like over and over again, you now realized, oh, okay, my name should be on this billboard that I'm actually bringing and presenting, or calling people's name. I should actually be here because this is what I'm doing, and that was just like the inroad for you to start doing what you're doing. Please hope I got the answer right.
Awesome work. So you definitely get your free journal. You definitely get your free journal. Okay. Yes. So again, this is the close of today's events. I'll definitely be keeping in touch with everybody. Have a very good rest of the evening. Bye,
Thank you, everyone. Nice meeting you all. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.